Hey, I'm PH and welcome to another episode of Good Bible Knowledge with PhD. In this set of videos, I want to provide answers to common questions about the Bible in a fun and creative way. I hope these videos will be helpful for your own spiritual journey in Jesus. Let's get started. Who is Ahab? After the division of Israel into two kingdoms, Rehoboam, the ruler of the southern kingdom, went to work fortifying Judah's position. Rehoboam not only abandoned God, but brought Judah to an all-time moral and spiritual low. As a result, Shishak, the king of Egypt, looted Jerusalem of much of the wealth that King Solomon had previously accumulated. In the northern kingdom of Israel, Jeroboam wasted no time in establishing a legacy of rebellion and idolatry. Jeroboam, fearful that the northern tribes might return to Jerusalem, made two golden calves, setting one in Bethel and the other in Dan. With these idols, he also established a new priesthood and an alternate system of worship headed by none other than himself. In every possible way, Jeroboam rejected God and turned his people towards apostasy. The initial line of Israel's kings was fraught with intrigue and violence. Nadab, Jeroboam's son, was murdered by Baasha, an officer in his own army. Elah, the son of Baasha, was also assassinated by one of his officers, Zimri. Zimri reigned as Israel's king for only 7 days and set his own palace on fire when his general Omri usurped him as king. Omri established Samaria as the capital of the northern kingdom and was a very capable king. However, Omri was spiritually bankrupt. 1 Kings 16:25 says he was more evil than all the kings before him. After the death of Omri, Ahab his son became king over Israel. Ahab was married to Jezebel, who single-handedly replaced the worship of God with the worship of Baal in the nation of Israel. The reign of Ahab was one of the darkest moments in all of Israel's history. 1 Kings 2:21 says there was none who sold himself to do what was evil in the eyes of the Lord like Ahab, who was urged on by his wife Jezebel. Next to the palace of Ahab in the city of Jezreel, there lived a wealthy man by the name of Naboth, who owned a beautiful vineyard. Ahab so coveted Naboth's vineyard that he offered a great sum of money to purchase the vineyard for his very own. Naboth, however, refused the generous offer as the vineyard was his treasured family inheritance. Dejected and depressed, Ahab returned to his bedroom and sulked, refusing to eat. When Jezebel came upon her husband, she asked him, "Husband, why are you upset?" Jezebel was disgusted with Ahab's behavior, and she reprimanded her husband, saying, "Are you not the king of Israel? Tomorrow I will give you the vineyard of Naboth." Jezebel then enlisted men of ill repute to falsely accuse Naboth. The next day, when Naboth was attending a fast unto the Lord, two men proclaimed that Naboth had cursed God and king, and the people took Naboth outside the city and stoned him to death. Upon hearing the report of Naboth's death, Jezebel went to her husband, saying, "Naboth is dead. Go now and take possession of his land." Delighted by the news, Ahab arose from his bedroom and took possession of Naboth's vineyard. Such was the man Ahab and his wife Jezebel, and the wickedness they brought upon the land of Israel. Yet even in the darkest of times, God chose to raise up one of his greatest prophets, Elijah. Elijah is considered one of the most revered characters in all of Israel's history, second only to Moses. The name Elijah is composed of two Hebrew words, El meaning God and Jah, a shortened form of Yahweh. Together, his name proclaims, "The Lord is God." It is often in the darkest of times when the light of God shines the brightest. In the time of Caesar Augustus in Israel, when the people walked in darkness, God would bring a great light. And this light would be called Emmanuel, God with us. Thanks for listening to another episode of Good Bible Knowledge. We'll see you next time.